Nicole Kidman has made her first public appearance since her split from Keith Urban.
We've been through a lot together.
We've got a timeline for it now, and the time is it's now.
For nearly 20 years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban stood as one of the most enduring couples in entertainment, an Oscar-winning actress and a country music star who seemed to have built something that lasted. In 2025, that marriage ended. What followed was not a single dramatic reveal, but a slow, mostly quiet unwinding that played out across court filings, tour stops, and eventually Kidman's own words. This is what actually happened, based on court records and reporting from the time. Kidman and Urban met in 2005 and married in June 2006 in Sydney, Australia. Over the next 19 years, they built a life across two industries and two continents, she filming around the world, he touring constantly, while raising two daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. For much of that time, they were held up publicly as a rare Hollywood Nashville success story, a marriage that had survived fame, distance, and Urban's well-documented history with addiction earlier in his career. The first solid signs of trouble reached the public in late September 2025. A source told People that Kidman had not wanted the split and had been fighting to save the marriage, adding that her younger sister Antonia had become a source of support as the Kidman family rallied around her. Around the same time, reports confirmed the couple had separated after nearly 2 decades together, with the split first becoming public in September 2025. According to reporting from that period, the separation had been underway for months before it became public. People reported that the couple had actually been living apart since the beginning of that summer, and multiple insiders said Kidman had been managing the household and holding things together during a difficult stretch while Urban was away. Those same sources described the split as appearing one-sided at first, with Kidman reportedly still working to preserve the marriage. One confidant told the outlet that Urban had gotten his own place in Nashville and had moved out of the family home, which was also located in the city. On September 30, 2025, Kidman made it official. She filed for divorce, citing the date of separation as the date of filing, and the paperwork was submitted in a Tennessee court. The filing itself listed the reason as irreconcilable differences, and the couple had reportedly been living separately since the start of the prior summer. The timing and manner of the filing set off immediate speculation, some of it unconfirmed. Fox News reported that an insider had heard rumors of another woman in Urban's life, and that TMZ had first reported he might already be involved with someone else. A source described to that outlet as close to Kidman said all signs pointed to Urban being involved with someone else, and that while Kidman did not dispute it, she was reportedly still shocked by it. It's worth being clear about what this is. At the time, no such relationship was ever officially confirmed by either party, and neither Kidman nor Urban commented on it publicly. Other outlets described the breakup less dramatically, with one source characterizing it as a slow fade rather than a sudden blow-up, calling it more of a gradual drift than a shocking break. Life continued to move forward publicly for both of them even as the legal process began. Urban kept working through it, continuing his High and Alive world tour with a show scheduled in early October in Hershey, Pennsylvania, while Kidman remained in London for a film shoot. Neither made further public statements at that stage, leaving most of the narrative to unnamed sources and tabloid coverage rather than anything either of them said directly. What did move relatively fast was the legal side of things. Unlike many high-profile Hollywood splits that drag on for years through contested hearings, this one proceeded with unusual speed and, by most accounts, relatively little public conflict. Court documents showed that both parties signed a parenting plan in August 2025, even before the divorce filing became public, and the plan called for joint decision-making between them going forward. The couple filed in Tennessee, where they primarily lived, and reached a full divorce settlement on January 6, 2026, less than 4 months after the initial filing. The custody arrangement became one of the more closely reported details. Court documents showed that both Kidman and Urban waived their rights to child support and spousal support as part of the agreement. Their daughters, Sunday and Faith, were set to primarily reside with their mother, though they would spend every other weekend with Urban, with both parents remaining jointly responsible for major decisions in the girls' lives. The agreement also included language about how the two would conduct themselves going forward. As part of the settlement, both parties agreed to behave with each other and with each child in a way that would provide a loving, stable, and nurturing relationship regardless of the divorce, and specifically agreed not to speak badly of each other or of each other's extended family. The agreement further stated that they would encourage the girls to continue loving both parents and to feel comfortable in both households. For a couple whose split had been accompanied by tabloid speculation about affairs and hidden resentment, the actual paper trail told a calmer story, one focused on co-parenting logistics rather than blame. Legal commentary at the time noted that the couple's ability to reach a settlement quickly and with apparent cooperation stood out compared to more contentious celebrity divorces, crediting strategies like early mediation for helping avoid a drawn-out legal battle. Kidman largely stayed out of the public conversation in the months immediately following the filing. She spent the 2025 holiday season with her daughters in Australia, and a source told People that this was intentional, that after a difficult fall, all she wanted was to celebrate Christmas at home. She marked the new year with an Instagram post of herself and her daughters captioned, simply looking forward into 2026. Urban, for his part, continued touring through the fall and into the CMA Awards in November 2025, without extensive public comment on the divorce during that stretch. He had built long-term sobriety in the years since his earlier, well-documented struggles with addiction, which had been part of the couple's story since early in their relationship. It wasn't until March 2026, roughly 6 months after the filing and 2 months after the settlement, that Kidman addressed the split directly for the first time, in an interview with Variety tied to her upcoming Prime Video series Scarpetta. She described the previous year as a quiet one for her personally, saying she had other things going on and had been in her own shell. Asked how she was doing since the separation, she said she was always going to be moving toward what's good, and that what she was grateful for was her family and keeping them as they are while moving forward. Beyond that, she said everything else was something she chose not to discuss out of respect, adding that she was staying in a place of viewing her family as still a family, and that this was what they would continue to be. That restraint was consistent with how she'd approached the divorce from the start, through legal filings and second-hand sourcing rather than public statements, and even then, saying only as much as she felt was necessary. It's also worth noting she wasn't commenting only on this marriage. In the same interview era, coverage framed her remarks as reflecting on both of her past marriages, not just this one. As of this account, neither Kidman nor Urban has offered a detailed public explanation of what led to the split beyond the irreconcilable differences cited in the initial filing. The rumors about a third party were never officially confirmed by either side. What is documented is more mundane than the tabloid framing suggested. Two people who lived apart for the better part of a year, who negotiated a parenting plan before the divorce was even public, who waived financial claims against each other, and who settled the matter within 4 months, a timeline that, by Hollywood divorce standards, was notably fast and notably quiet. Their daughters remained the clearest through line in the public record. Both parents retained joint decision-making authority, and both agreed, in writing, to avoid speaking negatively about each other in front of the girls, a detail that says more about how they chose to end this than any of the surrounding speculation does. That's the version grounded in what's actually documented: filings, the settlement terms, and Kidman's own on-record comments. I skipped the invented insider dialogue and psychological narration from the reference script, since none of that was ever substantiated. Let me know if you'd like it trimmed, restructured for a specific video length, or adjusted in tone. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's 19-year marriage officially ended in 2025, closing one of Hollywood and Nashville's most-watched relationships. The two married in Sydney in June 2006 and built a life across 2 industries while raising daughters Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. Signs of trouble surfaced publicly in late September 2025. Reports indicated the couple had actually been living apart since early that summer, with insiders saying Kidman had been holding things together while Urban was away. On September 30, 2025, Kidman filed for divorce in a Nashville, Tennessee court, citing irreconcilable differences. Speculation followed quickly, including unconfirmed rumors of another woman in Urban's life reported by TMZ and Fox News, claims neither party ever officially confirmed. The legal process moved fast. Court records showed both had signed a parenting plan back in August 2025, even before the filing became public, and the divorce was settled on January 6, 2026, less than 4 months later. Both waived spousal and child support, and their daughters were set to primarily live with Kidman, with every other weekend time for urban and joint decision-making retained by both parents. The agreement also required both to avoid speaking negatively about each other in front of the children. Kidman spent the following holidays with her daughters in Australia and largely stayed quiet publicly. It wasn't until March 2026, in an interview with Variety, that she addressed the split directly for the first time. She said she was always going to be moving toward what's good, adding that she was grateful for her family and focused on keeping things as they are. Beyond that, she said she preferred not to discuss further details out of respect. Neither Kidman nor Urban has given a detailed public account of what led to the split.